Hello lovelies, my name is Dragon Slayer Delos, bringing you another video in which today we are going to be diving into the lore of the First Descendant, which, if you have ever heard of the First Descendant is a looter shooter game that is most probably well known in the video game space as being one of the Gooner games. There are a lot of scantily clad women in the game, and a lot of the powerful characters are the girlies. But that being said, there is an interesting world of the First Descendant, and there is a new season coming out this Thursday that is supposed to wrap up the story they've been telling for 3 years. So I thought it'd be really neat to dive into the latest trailer for the new season that the devs showed off in their dev stream on Monday, as well as looking at the new character Raven and figuring out a little bit of like what's being set up and where does the story go from here, because the devs have confirmed that the First Descendant is going to continue after the big bad Karel, aka Thanos, in this game is defeated. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the video. Poster child for the game. The war begins.
You will not be able to connect to me inside that ship.
Here we go. Hammered Anvil Act.
Ships that egress will not escape this catastrophe.
Amon. I feel like it's a survival of this. New transcendent weapon coming out.
There is no more time. I must complete the
Oh, this is the Karel boss fight. That's what
If you are willing to make this sacrifice, then I too will risk everything.
Another one.
will rise again.
Alright. Oh, and then the Raven symbol, and there she is, the baddie herself, Raven, the newest non-attribute descendant with the thorn choker. Gag me. Yeah, that was interesting. There's a lot of story stuff that is going on in this trailer. So right here, I think hopefully you can see my mouse cursor. Raven is the newest descendant that is going to be joining the cast. She is a non-attribute descendant, and if you're new to the game or have no idea what I'm talking about, like other type of RPG / looter shooter games, there are damage types between descendants and the weapons. There is fire, chill / ice, toxic / poison, and then non-attribute. And non-attribute is basically all-encompassing. If they wanted to do a interesting new element, let's say like wind, right? Wind or air. I don't think in the future they're going to add a new wind element, because then they would have to add a bunch of equipment that caters. Okay, so Karel, right? This is the big bad that we have been facing since the beginning of the First Descendant 3 years ago. He is this alien, not conqueror, but he definitely looks like that at first glance. But he's this general / leader of the Vulgus army, the main antagonistic faction in the First Descendant. He comes from a planet called Klipoth, and he has been chasing this MacGuffin called Ironhearts. Now, these Ironhearts are basically these sphere-like mechanical things that hold great power, hold arcane. And he was chasing these to help protect and save his planet from the giant colossi from the void. The colossi are the Titan-like bosses that you can fight in the First Descendant through the Void Intercept battles. They are another faction that they just hate everybody. They're just trying to ruin your day, and they have definitely ruined Karel's day, and so he has come to ruin our day on Ingress, the planet of the First Descendant. So obviously we weren't having that. We were like, hey, we're not about that alien invasion. So we have fought Karel. We have even destroyed all of the Ironhearts to keep them from falling into his hands and for him to get powerful and to screw us over so that he can save Cliff off. So last season he kind of had a heart to heart. On he had like his almost his Thanos moment. Well, not Thanos moment. Savathun on the hill moment. If for my Destiny fans out there, and he basically was lamenting because he got a message from back home of how things are dire. Things aren't looking great. And so this is kind of his last gambit. Now, that being said, the devs have confirmed that the Mega Dungeon, which is what's going to be releasing in the new season, and where we fight Corel in, is kind of a new type of content for the First Descendant in the sense that it takes about 20 minutes roughly. So focusing back here on the lore, you know, the devs have made a narrative standpoint because Albion is the hub, is kind of like this game's tower for my fellow Destiny players. Let's see here, get a different. Sure, here. So like everything is being, yeah, Albion invaded is, ooh, here we go. That's perfect actually. There we go, perfect. My baby girl Viesta. So Albion is like the tower for my Destiny people. It's your hub space. This is where you go back to, is where you do your upgrades. It's where you have your lounge, personal quarters, where you can hang out with other descendants and chat, goof around, mess around with, check your weekend, everything, right? Is in Albion. But our homestead is being invaded by Corel, and he's blowing it up. Now this is an important narrative beat, but you know it's not going to look wrecked or stay destroyed outside of the story. The Magnum Studios, the developers in the First Descendant, they're a small team. They work hard. They're very passionate about the game, but they don't have that many resources right now. Nexon is not allocating that much resources to the team, so they're doing the best with what they can. Plus, like, I think that they personally don't want to have Albion in such disarray for who knows how long if they were to keep it like that. But you know, we're being invaded. We are going to come out triumphant. Like Corel, I believe, is either we put him down or like he just walks himself off into the void, because he's not going to be the big bad after this. Now, where we go from here is, I think it'd be really interesting if we ourselves go to Klipvoth, to either help them as an olive branch, or an idea I have is like, oh, like maybe some MacGuffin of, hey, if we go to Klipvoth and we fight the Colossi there, or like whatever faction there, you know, we can solve our problems, because the Colossi have been a problem or issue to us. Or you know, one of our NPCs as our allies is Aeneas. She's a magister. That they are the same alien race as the Vulgus, but they are a separate faction that have allied with humanity to help us. We've encountered another magister named Xena something. I don't know. The magisters themselves, they're very fickle with humanity. So it could be that like they charge us to go there, to, you know, kind of keep up their end of the bargain. Like, you know, it's been too much of a take on this give and take relationship, and now we need to fess up something. I feel like it'd be interesting for us to get off this planet, to get something different, very similar to, like, not to for this game to copy another thing from Warframe, but similar to what Warframe is doing, of where they're going to a completely different solar system in their next major update. I think that'd be really cool for this game. Whether that's outside the scope of the dev's capabilities, we will see. I just think that would be a really interesting and neat direction to chase. So that being said, this was a really great trailer. Other story things. Oh, is Guide here? She was here in the beginning, right? Viesa. So I don't think. Well, maybe she's. Maybe she's. So Guide isn't really in this trailer at all. Oh, that's a better look. Okay, so the guide. One more thing to mention for lore theory crafting for the First Descendant, because there is lore for people that are interested. The guide is kind of like the Descendants Lotus for Warframe fans, or like the Speaker for Destiny people, and it's this like AI that it has a special connection to the Descendants, helps unlock the Descendants' arcane and their capabilities, and is like our guide slash our companion throughout the world of the First Descendant. Now, Guide, she knows that she's an AI. She knows she has a connection to the ancestors. They're kind of this precursor race that the power of the Descendants has gone down the line, descended from the ancestors. But she doesn't know like who created her and ultimately what her purpose is. She has a vague notion of the protocol of help the Descendants, but she doesn't really know much beyond that. So I think it'd be interesting if we do chase that thread and learn more about that with the story moving forward, because this story has been very vaguely hinting at the ancestors and the guide and what is really her deal. Why is it that sometimes people can't hear her, like previous Alpha and Jeremy? So yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Now, before we go, let's take a look at Raven, our new Descendant. So let's dive into the video, and then we'll talk a little bit about her backstory and what's her deal with what we know so far.
Let's fly.
She's back. She's back. Definitely going to be in this story. Or maybe not.
Playtime.
Or maybe they just made that unique for her. Okay. So Raven, right? Welcome back Bayonetta, close enough. She is very cool, very much a goth mommy. The developers are definitely chasing that niche, that flavor that people enjoy, that personality. And she's definitely has a different different persona than usual Descendants. A small complaint, well, not small complaint. One of the complaints that people have about this game with the girls is that a lot of them have same face, same body syndrome, where it's often hard to tell just by the face alone which Descendant is which, because there are a lot of outfits that you can just wear with anyone, or a bunch of different outfits that are constantly releasing that you can dress up everyone in. And with certain characters, they have different physicalities that are emphasized to differentiate them a little bit, besides our darker women of color in the game. So for example, Serena, she has a bigger chest, and Haley she has bigger thighs, slightly bigger thighs. For Raven, she definitely has bigger thighs. They made sure of that. And also, like, her face sports more of that darker goth makeup for the base, and her base face skin has that scar, as like alluding to her background as being this underworld broker. That's part of her story, is that she is this roguish dark alley underworld character in the First Descendant who has ties with Viessa. When Viessa had her undercover underworld missions. The devs have said that Raven actually helped save her life without Viesa ever knowing it. So I'm really interested how that's going to play out with Viesa's character story that's going to be also dropping with this update. And Sharon is another descendant who she's kind of like the leader of the espionage called Colon division, the spy assassin division in the First Descendant, and they have clashed multiple times in the past. And the devs have said there's kind of like this rivalry between the two of them now that Raven has awakened as a descendant. Shotguns are her thing. Ravens obviously are her thing. She has unique mobility with her dodge. Her dodge isn't a typical roll. She has kind of like that air feint, and like the shadows and the feathers. It's just really interesting. I'm really excited to see, if she's going to play a part in the main story at all. What unveilings we're going to learn with Viesa and possibly Sharon, and where they go moving forward. The next character, we haven't seen the character that's coming after Raven. We know that Haley is getting her ultimate form, which is great. And we know the next new character is going to be called Monet. And a new male descendant was going to be for 2027. That's going to be the end of the video here. So thank you so much for joining me, diving into the world of the First Descendant with things that are coming out this Thursday, some of the lore and the theory. I'm a huge nerd for world building and lore in video games, and I want to make content that showcases that moving forward. So if you like the video, if I piqued your interest at all or showed you a different side to this game you might not have known, please make sure to like the video, leave a comment on what your thoughts are, and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you so much. My name is Dragon Slayer Delos, and I'll see you on the next one, lovelies. Peace.